Sorry, guys. We were talking about Dune and robes. Welcome to the Unpaid Nobodies, everybody. Jasper, say the weekly thing. Say the thing you do before I swear.
The thing that I do.
Technically, it has to be 30 seconds before it gets
I don't know,
demonetized.
dude. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, smash like, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll get alerts whenever we upload.
Just remember,
course-
guys, if you don't like and subscribe, more disses won't drop.
This is true. People liked and subscribed when We Don't Trust You came out, and look how that turned out.
Look, I don't want to say that this is because of us, but we have predicted the future before.
We have multiple times.
We have
actually.
multiple times.
And to think that we are still unpaid.
And yeah, we're still unpaid.
Yeah, apparently being a prophet is not very profitable. I'll see myself out.
That was good. That was hey, I don't see Paul Atreides collecting any spice.
No.
I hate everything. By the way, the website you sent has a specific Dune section, and I'm looking
actually
at it right now. Yes,
I didn't even know that. I have to see that shit. Maybe they had a hand. Yeah, maybe they had a hand in costume design.
No.
This goes so hard.
God.
Anyway,
but yeah, what a week we've had. We have a lot going on. First off, someone's birthday was yesterday when you're watching this. But it has not passed yet at the time of recording.
At the time of recording.
Yeah. And he selected the album we will be deep diving. And you know what? It's one that I think was worthy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it was worthy of the deep dive. Even though, spoiler alert, I don't have too much to say. I have some things to say. I certainly have some things to say. I don't have much to say. But yeah, shall we kick it off, Purvis? Do you want to start with the threats that are being made by crazy old men?
Oh, no.
You took the words out of my mouth. I literally was going to say, Kanye's threatening us again. Vultures 2 is supposed to release. I have money down on a 5% chance that this actually comes out. Maybe less. But yeah, we're here again, and once again, he is threatening us with Vultures 2. I hope it drops so I can make fun of it. I'm not gonna lie. I hope it drops so I can make fun of it. God. That is the only reason.
Something that me and Purvis have mentioned, and I actually want Jasper's take on this, is I think the reception to the first Vultures, regardless of what is happening with Vultures 2, I actually think it's completely irrelevant to this conversation. I think based on the reaction to the first Vultures, and based on his reaction to his inclusion on the biggest hip hop story of the year, I think it's fair to say the age of Kanye is over.
Yes, I thought so when Vultures came out. Everything about Vultures. It's part of why I said it was so disappointing and so kind of depressing listening to it, because you can tell that musically there's still interesting things happening, but a lot of content there, even musically still, is very self-referential.
Yeah.
All the bars, all the
in
lyrics,
a bubble.
Yeah. It also just doesn't have anything to say anymore.
Yeah.
Kanye's run out of things to actually communicate that are of substance.
You can only be so controversial.
Yeah.
At one point, no one's
controversy was his substance for so long, right? And
right.
And I think something that, if you don't mind, I think a cross that a lot of Kanye fans have had to bear is that for a long time, some of the controversies, he deserved the backlash he got, and some of them he didn't. I think this was way before your guys' time, not my time, but I remember the very famous interview where he talks about how hip hop was the opposite of gay, and how he talks about all the homophobia in hip hop, right? That was the first that Kanye's crazy moment. And look how quaint it is in comparison.
Yeah, it's so disappointing to see the trajectory, but I 100% agree. It's Kanye is over. We've got musically artists that have kind of filled that void.
Yeah.
I would say Travis transitioning to a more Kanye-esque sound on the latest project definitely started to fill that void for some people, myself included.
Yeah.
And there's others too, you know.
I was gonna say it's just a lot of good sounds in general.
Yeah, I think I am I don't think anyone will ever rise to like that kind of like cultural conductor that Kanye was, you know. I don't think I don't think Travis will. I don't think Kendrick will. I don't think J. Cole will. I don't think any of these artists will. However, I think I would much rather live in a world where there are lots of different artists at a high level doing really cool things, right? And they aren't all just downriver of Kanye West or Atlanta. You know what I mean? I think now there is like a lot of like really insane sonic diversity going on now. You have the Griselda guys. You have, you know, Megan and all the female rappers really bringing in like a lot of different kind of sounds. You have people like Travis, who I think is like very... Jasper, you might not know this. I think Travis is in the big three. I think he's.
We never discussed.
Yeah, like
we did. We did. I said that shit.
Yeah, no,
we talked about it more afterwards too.
I talked about it when I was in Kentucky because, like, in my opinion, I think the big three are Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, and Megan Thee Stallion. Like, I think those are the genuine big three of like, especially this week. Like, I don't think, like, I think, you know, I do agree that I think like it should be the person performing at the highest level, standing on top of like the most popular movements in the genre, right?
Yeah.
That actually, I think right now, I think like lyrical hip hop is probably in a better place than it has been in a long time.
Yeah.
Between all the different artists and stuff. So that's why, anyway. But yeah, no, I don't think anyone's going to rise to that level of Kendrick, but I think we're going to have a lot of huge, but like not as massive figures as Kanye operating, and I think that's healthier.
Yeah, I think that in terms of multi-hyphenate trajectory, Tyler is the closest currently. Tyler and Travis are both very similar. Tyler's going the route of like working with fashion houses, having his collections, you know, working with someone like Pharrell, things like that. So like in terms of the cultural space, I think Tyler's also kind of like in that vein. Travis very much has like his brand deals, and he does those deals, and he like releases music when he releases music. But yeah, it's like cool to see kind of the two of them almost being like two sides of the coin that would make up Kanye in the past. Like Kanye circa 2016 is like a reflection of both of them. Almost.
I think. Yeah, the thing is, I think, especially with Tyler, I think he also has aspects that will disqualify him. And for Tyler, I think it's his strengths, right? Like, I think the fact that Tyler is so idiosyncratic and weird and uncompromising about that, I think will prevent him from truly becoming a Kanye character. And I think that's good. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, but I think Kanye had those too. They just didn't come to light until it was like it had already happened, you know?
Well, yeah, but that just proves my point.
Sure, I was going to say, a lot of the Kanye things, the weird things were morally bad things.
Yeah. Versus, like, you know, Tyler, I don't think it's like moral bad things. I don't think it's idiosyncratic. I think it's just that he's a very specific kind of artist, and like, you know, I'm sorry, my brain stopped working. He's a very specific kind of artist, and no matter where you go, the more specific of an artist you are, you're just not going to get, you know, you're not going to have like the biggest.
Yeah. You're not going to have the lowest common denominator.
Yeah, you're not the lowest common denominator. That's basically it. Like, Tyler will never be lowest common denominator, right?
No,
like,
Drake for that.
You know, I think Travis kind of is, and I think, you know, I think they, but I do think Travis is like doing things at a very high level. You know, the thing is, I just don't think the reason why Tyler is not my big three is because I don't think Tyler's standing on a movement.
I agree.
You know, the same way that like Travis is standing on top of trap music.
That's true.
It's so I would say that there are aspects that Tyler did culturally earlier on that were like that, but it was never musically. It was always like culturally, aesthetically. Like Tyler's the reason loafers are as big as they are, and he's been doing it for years. And it took a long time for like pop culture to like sign on and like get on board with it. But now it's like loafers everywhere, shit like that, like little things.
The biggest thing for me, because I have been thinking about Tyler a lot in this discussion, is that you gotta have to want it as well. I genuinely don't think Tyler even cares about
that's another thing.
Totally. And like Brandon,
he thinks this is weird. He would hate what the conversation we're having right now. Like,
absolutely, And like I feel like this week, I was telling Brandon, I'm really upset about the J. Cole part about it, because like it's not that I don't respect him. I do respect J. Cole. It's just like now going forward, you literally can't include yourself in the big three. You can't, because you openly disqualified yourself.
Did J. Cole wash himself? Is that what's happening here?
I gotta keep it real. I think J. Cole took the smartest path out of this.
Yes,
I think first off, like I gotta keep it real. I don't think his diss was as I don't think his diss was as bad as people say.
No, his diss was not bad.
You know, I think it was better than Champagne Moments. I think it was better than the weird AI one.
The Tailor Made or whatever.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so Vultures is coming out.
Yes.
Allegedly. He's threatening us with another album.
Make it stop, make it stop.
Yes. Obligatory, make it stop, make it stop. We got to get that hoodie made. We have to get that hoodie made.
Another person that I hope stops soon. We're also getting threatened by the baby. Ghetto Superstars is apparently supposed to come out.
It's like mom and dad are both home and they're both drunk.
What's going on?
Current objective: survive.
Literally. But yeah, here we are with 2 albums that nobody asked for.
Yeah,
but
there's an album I did ask for.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do you want to bring it up?
Oh yeah, so we're getting Forbats' first album, "You Made Me a Star." He's an OVO signer, right?
He is OVO signed.
Interesting.
And was apparently in the studio with Kanye, because that makes sense.
I don't know what's going on anymore, man.
Well, Kanye's featured. He's the only feature apparently on this whole album. But yeah, Made Me a Star. He's had 3 singles that came out, and then that freestyle, because everybody's on that like on the radar freestyle or something now.
Yeah. I think it's cool.
Everything sounds great. Yeah, it all sounds cool. It's a different kind of sound that at least I can't think of many people doing it right now. It's dope. I'm here for it. I'm excited. He's young. I don't want to say industry plant, but he's doing pretty well for himself.
You should. I hate to be this guy. You can. It's one of my catchphrases. Watch the new FD Signifier video. He did one about the first industry plants.
Okay.
And basically, he does it as like about like the first industry plants in hip hop, Kid and Play. But basically, what it is like a breakdown of like industry plants don't exist. Like this is a concept that doesn't make any sense. And should be like the idea of an industry plant. Yeah. Right. Like, I certainly think there's something to be said about just like access and like proximity and like, you know, geography lottery. But like, I don't know if there's such a thing as an industry plant.
Unless you're Lana Del Rey.
Yeah. No, fuck Lana Del Rey. You know, I want to.
There's a cadence.
What's the opposite of apologizing for something? I want to insult Lana Del Rey. Like,
of apologize.
Say it with your chest.
You know, for a long time, I always made the joke that Lana Del Rey was the Weeknd for girls. But it turns out that's Hozier.
God damn. Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
I know. I'm a villain. Like,
I don't know if I know a single Hozier song. So
you're
in church.
Yes,
yeah, it's your favorite thing. Come on.
I have heard church.
Yeah, it's an incredible. Hozier's incredible. He is an S tier artist on the. I would say it. I'm gonna say it. I think he's like in conversation with artists like J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. I think he's like that level of talented.
Okay, but
yeah.
Hey, I'm open to check him out. I just don't know much.
I just wish he wasn't playing against Tyler.
Yeah, that's an L for you. Well, not really an L, but
no, it's not. I would much prefer to see Hozier.
It's not an L, but it's unfortunate.
I'll keep it real. I certainly have had. If you ask me like which, like, on an album level, I think I probably prefer Tyler to Hozier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I certainly listen to Hozier way more. So I am not too upset. Okay, so those are the 3 albums.
Yes, getting into the singles here, we have a lot of stuff that's been announced without names. We have Gunna that seems to be dropping the leading single to his album.
Oh, so you gonna diss Kendrick Lamar?
I hope not. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Like, we know this doesn't work out. Like, don't do that shit.
Leave this for like certain people. But yeah, no. But excited for that regardless. I believe the album's called 101. So I'm excited for it. We also have Yeet has announced he's releasing 2 singles on his Instagram stories, and there's rumors that Don Toliver is featured in one of them.
That's a fun combo.
Now, yeah, give it to me now.
That's a fun combo.
Super excited for that. And then we have some actually proper release songs with full titles. I don't know how we haven't thought of this collaboration before.
I have. I did, but I haven't thought about it since before the pandemic.
Okay, so it's been some years. Okay, Kevin Abstract and Lil Nas X are releasing a song called Tennessee, and like, it just makes sense. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, that's an excellent collab. That's an excellent collab.
And then we have Josiah, Denzel Curry, and Michi Darko dropping 5 days. I'm excited for
it. Give me some Denzel, dude. I need a Denzel album. It's been too long. Where's it coming, Denzel?
Didn't he say he was going to do like R&B or something? It was a different genre or something, right? I
think so. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I will hate me all you want. I'd love for him to do a rock album. Anyway.
Don't hate that.
Yeah, he could pull it off for sure.
Yeah, I think he can.
Yeah.
To be honest, there's not a lot of news outside of the debate. There is one news that came up today.
Yeah, let's talk about this because this is important, and then let's get to the fun stuff.
Yes, for sure. UMG and TikTok has officially signed a new deal. The music is back on the app. We're here again. I remember this was a super big deal. I don't know, it was like a month or 2 ago, some time ago. But yeah, they took all the music off of the TikTok app, and it was a lot of controversy. A lot of people losing their content, their videos, their sounds, their content, losing everything if they didn't pre-save it. There's a lot of issues around discovery because Lord knows we all use TikTok a ton to find music all the time.
Not anymore.
Well, not you, but we still see TikTok. You just make me save it. You make me do more. I
don't care. I don't care. I have my liaison.
I've literally just sent it to her. It's just like, just show this to Brandon.
Yeah, I have my little. But she decides what's good for me and what's bad.
It's like, will this cause him psychic damage? If yes, do not show.
Yeah.
To be honest, having a black woman in that position puts you in a good spot in life. She will decide what's good and bad for you.
Yeah.
But yes, they signed a new deal. They're back together. Yay.
Yeah. Just in time for TikTok to be banned.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Poetry.
Yeah, true. It's like poetry. It rhymes. All right. Shall we get to it? Dude, the first round is over.
The first round is over.
And I think there's a clear victor.
Time for our diss update. Kendrick Lamar at 8:24 a.m. on a random Tuesday decided to drop Euphoria on YouTube, and damn,
yeah,
certified Kobe activities.
Yeah.
Specifically for Kobe.
Yeah, no, this is.
And man, he went.
It was a full-throated response to Drake.
Yes, 6.5 minutes, 2 beat switches, 3 beats, covered a lot of topics, and it was phenomenal.
It's so good. It's so good. Not to say his name twice in the podcast, but FT Singafire has a fun video he did on his like side project where he ranks all the Drake disses.
Okay.
And like I think like he talks about how Kendrick Lamar might not be an elite level lyricist in terms of like lyrical miracle, like how many double entendres can you do, how many things like that. Like he's probably not as good as like a Lupe Fiasco, right? But he is the best writer in the history of hip hop, right? In terms of knowing how to put words together in a way that makes it engrossing. Because like this is a 6.5 minute song with no chorus, no structure, just 6.5 minutes of hating.
Yeah,
pure hate. This man hates Drake,
and I put it on in the shower. It's so good. Dude, I listened to it, and it's like I just had to listen to it again. It's so good. Like
it is really, really good. The way he put it together. A lot of Drake stands trying to defend him with saying like, "Oh, he's saying stuff that's already been said." It was like, no, he said it differently and more effectively in ways that it really hurt. This man hates Drake.
Dude, this man is hating.
And it is like actually like what's interesting enough. This is one of the points that I kind of took away because I genuinely do like push-ups. I think push-ups is a great
that's the thing. Like that, I 100% agree with you. I think push-ups is an excellent diss track. I don't think it holds a candle to this.
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
But no, it's a. And the other thing is, I do think there's something to be said. I do not think push-up is Drake's best diss record.
No.
Yeah, but yeah, no, this was a excellent response to push-ups. And man, it really is just really fun to see rappers responding and like doing full songs and stuff, you know? Like I thought, and I do think that the worst thing that Kendrick Lamar could or anyone could possibly do is to write Drake off.
Yeah.
It's like that. Agree. You know, and it does suck because, like, I have a clear horse in this race. You know, people are like, I don't have a horse in this race. I do. Right. Like, I have been wanting Kendrick Lamar to read Drake to filth since the Control verse. Right? Like,
yeah.
And it is just very interesting, though, seeing how many people, because now it's not the Control verse. We don't live in the same world, right? And this diss, like, it's just been such a huge cultural moment, like these disses going back and forth, that you have a lot of, like, you know, people who maybe just, like, aren't as involved with, like, hip-hop or, like, understand, like, the nuances of what's going on. Like, and it's, like, insane because I try to unpack, like, the layers of, like, why this is so interesting. And it makes me sound like I'm defending Drake.
Yeah. A lot of people have been saying that.
Yeah, like
a lot of content creators I've watched.
That Christian
like,
Divine guy.
Video doing that. It's like, look, I don't love Drake, but we need to talk about this.
Yeah. Yeah, right? Because it's like, no, because like, you know, you say like, oh, like, you know, they talk about Drake's ghostwriters. Drake's ghostwriters were R&B artists. He's never struggled to write bars. Like,
funny enough, Kendrick brought that up.
Yeah.
The 1v20 thing.
And I think he did it amazing.
Yeah, no. I mean, the thing that, like, my biggest takeaway, honestly, the difference between the two disses, that the angle that Kendrick takes, it actually does talk about the culture and why Drake is bad for the culture.
Yeah.
Whereas Drake is just personally attacking Kendrick, and I don't think it hits as hard because, like, when you actually look about what Drake has done to hip hop,
yeah,
if you break down all the negatives, which Kendrick is able to do, and he did do, it's just like, damn, like, even you was like, you text me, you're just like, I really hate Drake now. It's just like, I know.
Like, yeah, like, you really, yeah, like.
I'm going to say I told you so.
I kind of hate him. But yeah.
No, I've been saying this stuff about Drake. It's just that, like, I don't, you know, I just don't, I don't take the other step and then discount, like, Take Care.
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, like, for me, it's post views is just like, I don't like. But
yeah,
like,
yeah. Views is where I call it. Views is where I call it. You know.
Yeah, there's a reason that from that point forward, it feels like it stops being about the music and starts being about the numbers. And the money.
Have you watched the Death of Drake video?
No.
Don't watch the Death of Drake video. You have. It's an hour and a half, very well researched video essay about this exact thing.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. But I felt this way for a long ass time, dude. Since like 2018. It's like, damn, all right, well. This shit is, you know, really just only trending one direction.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, it's just he just reads him the filth and he goes there. Like, he does not hold back, like, at all.
He did not hold back.
Does anyone else want to share your favorite bars?
When you stand next to Sexy Red, I see two bitches. Yeah. Let's go.
Dude, that's so good.
it's just funny hearing him like, let me see you push a T. It's just
like great.
Let me see you push a
Push a P.
Dude, him taking
Pusha T's sitting at home right now, like.
No, honestly, I think the funniest bar is just like, I hate the women you fuck. Like, just like, wow.
The bar I can't say is like, I think is like, I hate the way you say. And like the thing he sings at the end of the song has been being sung throughout my house.
Screaming that. I was at home screaming.
Dude, I think my favorite bar is by far is like the first time I shot me a Drake, the homie told me I had to aim it this way. Didn't point down enough. Today I'll show you I learned from those mistakes.
Yep.
And then right after that, be like, somebody had told me you got a ring on God, I'm ready to double the wage. I'd rather do that than let a Canadian buddy make Pac turn in his grave.
That's insane.
Dude, I hate the government. I don't like America. But the second a Canadian started Dude, no, I just feel this, right? It's like, no, fuck this Canadian motherfucker.
Yeah, you are 100%. It's like when you said I've got people who can never leave Canada. It's like, fuck you. What does that even mean?
It's like, oh no, they can't. They'll never lose their health care.
Exactly. Go fuck yourself.
Oh my God.
But also, like this whole beef really recontextualizes the song N95 for me in like a very entertaining way. So whenever that comes on my shuffle now, I'm like, yeah, this is great.
I mean, it hits. What is it? The braids? Like, bro, come on. What are you doing here? Like, this is crazy. The whole breakdown of him talking about Cole and Drake, and he was like, I'll tell you in the next 8 bars, and then actually breaks it down in the 8 bars and ends it with I pray they my real friends. If not, I'm YMW.
Dude, I've been saying, I was playing Crab Souls last night, and I'm just like, every time I kill like a very hard boss, I'm like, I'm YMW Melly. Dude, it's just
he did a lot of. He brought up Lil Yachty, Gunna, Sexy Red, YMW Melly, like Pusha T, Pharrell. He covered a lot.
Yes, but he brought up Pusha T in a way where he might be on a remix of this.
Yeah.
Which the amount of Drake hating.
So what's crazy? There's rumors that like this is a very, very edited, broken down version.
Really?
Like, apparently
like
it was
19 minutes or something. Minutes. Yeah, I saw.
They said it was 19 minutes, and he broke this down.
Give me the Snyder cut. Like, give me the Lamar cut right now.
The Rose
this man made an EP of hating Drake. like what's going on here? How much do you hate this man? You made a whole EP of how much you hate him.
Incredible.
Matter of fact, I didn't even bleed him yet.
This is the new Pyramids, all right? This is the new.
Yeah, this really is diss track Pyramids. Like,
oh man. Some of my favorite stuff is like somebody was doing Elmo and Rocco. Somebody was doing Dinkelberg. Like, how much do you hate them?
So the other thing is this song is so long that like I'm trying to find my favorite bars and I can't. Like, it's like
you had to keep scrolling. It's what's even crazier. Genius, the day it came out, was like our website crashed because of Euphoria.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah. But like, I think one of my other favorite lines was, "I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he act tough."
Yeah. No,
he took the words straight out of my heart. Like,
say, look, he opened it up and he said, "Don't tell lies on me. I won't tell lies on you." And I knew immediately.
Yeah, over with.
There's no getting out of this one.
there's no like. Okay, so you have some stuff in here about him getting back in the studio or whatever. What's going on? Like,
yes. Okay, so. Because we do have to cover, obviously, the immediate response.
Yeah.
Which was still very Drake-like.
What did he put up on his Instagram story?
Yes, he did put up, I think it was a scene from Euphoria, the show. I've been told, I'm not sure. It was a scene from the actual show, Euphoria, that he is like a director on or something. He plays some role.
Producer.
He's a producer, yeah. He probably doesn't actually do shit, but...
Yeah, you know how that goes.
Just actually, recaptures his magic as Wheelchair Jimmy.
He comes back as Wheelchair James.
Wheelchair Jimothy.
Guys, please. But he put up a video, and apparently in the video, it's literally like this girl giving a speech in class, basically saying like how she hates certain things. Like it literally was like, it's exactly what Kendrick's talking about. Just like you're in the highest scale of a rap beef that we're gonna get this decade.
Yep.
And like you're on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm gonna quote N95 real quick. Take off the fabricated streams and the microwave memes. It's a real world outside. Like this is what he was talking about, but like obviously the context is different, but it's all there.
Yeah.
It is all there.
I don't actually. I'm going to disagree with you, Jasper. I don't discount that bar might have been about Drake.
It probably was.
Yeah.
Well, the way it's written, it sounds like he's talking about like a woman specifically.
Yeah.
Because take off the Dolce, take off the Birkin bag. Like,
oh yeah.
Unless he's talking about Lil Uzi Vert, which
or Drake. He wears all both of those
Drake
things.
Next to Sexy Red.
Facts. He does see 2 bitches.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway,
you might pop ass with them.
Yeah.
I see them as competition.
We could be on a 3-hour time difference. That was just so. The hating.
It's an insane amount of. It is a calculated. He sat down and probably listed 1,000 things that he hates about Drake before he even started making the song.
His hair, whack. His jewelry, whack. The way he doesn't smile, whack. His sense of style, whack. Me, I'm tight as fuck.
Literally. That day, he was at a concert, I guess, as a guest for Nicki Minaj in Toronto, and he left the stage saying, like, y'all know what I'm about to go do. And that's where we are. And there's rumors that there's supposed to be a song releasing tonight. Now, I would say, I hope not. I know this is not a common take, especially what I've been seeing on the internet. I genuinely want Drake to take his time. I do not want something he's already written. I do not want something rushed. If you are going to respond, which I think you should, even if you might lose, please make it worth it.
Yeah. I will not. I will not. If we get a good this next week, I will not bemoan him for taking 7 days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like talk about the song, absorb the song, realize like what you want to cover, and come up with something to respond with. No. Don't just put something out. Please.
Yeah. I think the other thing that's very funny is like you can just kind of tell like the difference in like not even in a like pretentious kind of like commercialization kind of way, but like just like where the priorities are as creatives, because like Push-Ups has like hooks and like it's good. Like I think Push-Ups is very good. I think Push-Ups has some great bars too. Good. Like just to have this talk with your ass I had to hike down, I think that's an
that is a bar.
And also, the most controversial take I will ever have is I'm just saying, the transition from Push-Ups to Euphoria goes hard.
I do want to hear it.
Yeah, the transition from, if you go straight from, because the other day I was just doing something, I'm like, okay, I'm going to put on like that, and then Push-Ups, and then Euphoria. And I was like, that transition went hard. But yeah.
All I know,
so Drake made a full song with hooks, and Kendrick just made mean bars for 6.5 minutes.
Yeah. So talk about how much
he called him a pedophile on a jazz beat, just like Zach Fox said.
This is exactly what we asked for. Look, my conclusion.
I've sworn
if you can actually sit down and say both these songs are good and want more, then you're mature enough to be in the conversation. That's my take. I don't care. Whoever doesn't want this is like, then why are you listening to it? Like, why are you a part of it? You should want good responses. But anyway, that's where we are. That's our weekly diss update.
Yeah, it's incredible. All right.
I guess, are we going to school?
All right. Oh yeah, let's go to school. Let's do school.
Nice.
Nah, that was pretty good. Oh, another thing. I just want to tell Purvis, a response he sent to my girlfriend when talking about this, when he said that about how more people in LA fuck with Drake than Kendrick.
Oh yeah.
And
no, I didn't say then Kendrick. Did I say then Kendrick?
How many more people from LA claim Drake? That's exactly what you said.
Right.
And like my thing, and like I'm just saying, like, are you aware of LA?
I am aware of LA.
The city of pedophiles.
Look, we both immediately was like, we don't like LA anyway. But it was a response to the restaurant that has been going crazy, which is dope. I'm not against that at all. I love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. Moving
so yeah, let's go to school.
Nicki Minaj.
This is a hard one.
This is hard.
This is difficult.
Now she started a movement in reality. We wouldn't have a lot.
She started a movement, but she didn't want to. She wanted to be the only one at the top.
Does she get to claim starting the movement then?
Yeah, that's why it's difficult.
Honestly, I would go to A personally. I know I don't know her discography.
My thing is that I think her discography is also like very lackluster. Like she has a lot of like very poppy records, but she has some classic moments, right? This is not a D or even C artist, you know? And I think another one is like just kind of seeing the cultural shift on Nicki Minaj, right? Mm-hmm. Like just seeing how savage hip hop fans were her when she came out. And then like, you know, almost a decade later when like Cardi B and Megan and like, you know, the people who she spawned started taking like the top spots, like how people would say like, oh, at least Nicki had talent. And it's like, people didn't say that
10 years ago.
Yeah, people didn't say that 10 years ago, right? So I think seeing like that like I don't think I've seen like a bigger cultural shift on an artist at all than Nicki Minaj. But she also gets points taken away for the barbs because they suck. I don't like them.
All like new, old, or are you just saying in general? You just don't
barbs? Like... The barbs? They all bad.
Oh, the barbs. I thought you were saying the bars.
Oh, like no, the barbs. No, she gets points taken away for the barbs, yeah. And like for also just being a shitbag of a human being. So I'm probably gonna
one of the best COVID memes though.
Yeah, she did give one of those best. It is an elite tier COVID meme, and it was a time of many memes. I'm going B minus. No, I'm going B. I'm going strong B. Right in the middle.
I have to go A minus because just her impact alone is like. We wouldn't have a lot of artists without her. We really would not have a lot of artists without her.
Yeah, I gotta go B. I don't necessarily care for a lot of her solo stuff. Like, it's not really my wheelhouse. She's got some bangers, though. She's got some songs that really transcend genres. Like, Starships is like,
yeah.
You know,
yeah, like, I'm not, Starships is not for me. Starships is not, like, in the pop realm I like, but it's incredible, and you can't deny it.
Yeah, it's undeniable. And then, to be fair, she does have what I think is one of the best verses on my favorite album of all time.
Yeah,
favorite album of all time.
Oh, so 100%. I think that is up. Yeah, I think that's
my favorite album of the 2010s. So yeah, I mean it's undeniable talent, undeniable just like cultural impact. But I think that the way that that's progressed has not been the best use of her, like just like the force of her career. Mm-hmm. I would say B.
But we'll put her in B then. T.I. an Atlanta legend.
E.
Ooh.
E tier.
But terrible person.
No, terrible person.
He has acting.
That's a factor.
He's got music.
Yeah. You gave Playboy Cardi an A though, so I think you should engage.
No, I should.
Like
career-wise.
I don't think you're allowed to like discount people because of their behavior.
That's fair. Career-wise, it would be. I'd have to go A actually.
I would probably still go B plus because the thing is, like, as huge as he's been for the South and for trap music, I think in almost every way, I think he's been lapped.
He has.
Interesting.
You know, like I think as far as the trap sounds, Future really took that and circled him, you know, at least in Atlanta, you know, and not even to mention the Migos. And like, and as far as the more lyrical Southern sound, which is another thing he kind of had a hand in, I think another artist that he co-signed really early on lapped him, and that's Killer Mike. You know, like which like do I think like T.I. is like a Southern legend? 100%. But like I think he had helped create like two incredibly important lanes in I love Southern hip hop. So it's like, you know, I really like this shit. But like I think in both of them he's been lapped, you know? Like I think Future and Killer Mike really have like separated T.I. into somehow less problematic ways.
We are, that's
and then
it's an interesting argument. It's a sound argument, but it's hard for me not to think like when you say like a legend, like a Chicago legend, a New York legend, an Atlanta legend, like he is a certified Atlanta legend. I don't know how I could not say, hey,
that's why I said
and picking up like his acting career, his
I don't give a shit about that. I can talk about cultural
everything.
I could talk about cultural impact in terms of music and like stuff like that. To me, like I don't know, like yeah, I liked him in the Ant-Man movies, but like I don't very like. I never found him to be a really compelling actor. Like, you know, like I don't think he's like an awful actor by any stretch. I'm not like, oh, keep T.I. out of movies, but like
we are forgetting something.
What are we?
That is a big part of my rating. Without T.I., there would be no Travis Scott.
That is true.
Like
T.I.
part of it.
Yeah, but is that an example of another person he helped put on who lapped him?
It is, but I think that he in my mind is, aside from just an artist, is like the John Monopoly type of like creates a roster and builds it. He's like the guy to build a group rather than.
All right, you convinced me. We can go A. Yeah, no, you got me. Yeah, that's right. Like
Grand Hustle Money put up Al Faro and Days Before Travis released anything major.
No, he put up the grind, the Legend of the Grind, like the money for the Killer Mike's albums before he got on with rap music. Yeah, I think he also put on Big Crit.
Yeah, personality.
Okay.
And
but like everything else, he's up there.
Yeah.
Okay. He's an A. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Meek Mill.
These are hard ones.
Isaac is gonna hate y'all if you.
I'm sorry, Isaac. Well,
these are hard ones. I'm not gonna lie. Really... Everything.
Are the next two coming up difficult?
Not as difficult, but one of them is like pretty important.
Okay.
But yeah, Meek Mill.
Oh man,
it's tough, man. Because like on the one hand, it's like he's made some really really good stuff, but on the other hand, he managed to lose a beef with Drake. So like, I have questions.
But
to be fair, it was back to back. That was like a top tier diss song.
Back to back. I like that record.
It's true. No,
the back to back was so good that in this clearly superior diss track, the artist acknowledges
about Drake trying to like take off like that. He tried. Oh my god.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway.
Yeah. We didn't even talk about how he referenced that. Like the theory I've always said that I think Drake tried to get Kendrick on first person shooter.
This is true.
Yeah.
That is.
But yeah, no.
Meek Mill has been around for a very long time.
Oh, another thing is, boy, I don't know how this is gonna end, but I hope it ends with a going bad. You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine if we got like an iconic level song with Drake and Kendrick? Like,
bring them together.
Which it won't happen because he hates Drake.
That man hates him. Like, if anything we learned, he hates him. Meek Mill first album came out in 2010. He has a full discography, one of the best intro tracks of all time.
Yeah. It does in hip hop for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, in hip hop for sure. Yeah, Dreams and Nightmares. Yeah, Dreams and Nightmares.
He was for a while, especially when he came out. Him, Wale, like these were people that were considered top class, and then other people came in.
Yeah, I think the thing is that like it's not. The thing about Meek Mill is that it's not like Meek Mill and the Drake beef was not equivalent to Drake in this beef. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah, 100%.
Like he did not come as correct at all, and he was the one with the clout. You know, like this would be like if Drake steamrolled Kendrick a little bit, like. But Dreams and Nightmares is very good. I'm not gonna. It's a very good album. We should get Isaac. When's Isaac's birthday? He can come on and we can talk about that.
It's not till October.
Whatever. But I'm going B.
He's done music with everybody.
I'm going B.
I'm comfortable with the B. I'm comfortable with the B.
But is that a world tour or your girls tour? I know that you got to be a thug for, but this isn't what they meant when they told you to open up.
We can't let one song drop him a whole grade.
C.
No, I'm okay with the B. I'm okay.
Okay.
Jasper, do you have any comment?
I'm gonna go. It's tough. I want to go like B minus, just because. Mm-hmm. I think that the legacy and like the momentum again just like hasn't been preserved. Like you look at what he was coming out with 2012 through 2016, like even up through DC4 was like there were some songs off DC4 that I really like. You look at what he's coming out with now, this album Too Good to Be True with Rick Ross.
Mm-hmm. No, really bad. No,
I think it's just he's missing the mark at this point in his career, and I don't think he's evolved with the sounds and like the culture generally.
No, I completely agree.
Eventually, you do have to retire.
Yeah. I'm gonna stand on B just because of Dreams and Nightmares, and like he is part of what is now the second best diss sequence of my adult life. So it's like, I'm gonna go B.
Okay. Next one is a little bit easier. Probably the easiest one out of the 5 because he has a mixed genre, but. Black 6 Lack.
Oh, 6 Lack.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like his music.
I like 6 Lack. Yeah. I've listened to his albums and I've just never gone back to them, but he makes for a killer feature. He is super talented. I think he's the only person other than Drake to do like the singy songy alt R&B hip hop thing in any way that's even close to compelling. Right? Mm-hmm. Like he is who Tory Lanez thought he was.
Facts.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Wow. That was good.
We don't like Tory Lanez anyway.
And he's on the best posse cut of the 21st century so far. Ain't No Way with Denzel Curry.
A Free Black or whatever that album name.
Yeah.
Is phenomenal.
That's one of my favorite.
Yeah, that's really
I don't
good.
really know a lot of his other stuff. I love that fucking album.
That album's really good. He also put out an album last year that's like a lot more. It's a lot less dark, but it's very good.
Dude, Problems, volume all the way up. Yeah. That song hits.
Break the speakers.
Yeah. It's like going for a walk through like Luigi's Mansion if it were infiltrated by Resident Evil zombies.
Yeah.
Just instrumentally, it's like very picturesque. Yeah. I'm a fan. Yeah.
That's crazy.
All right. I will.
And that's a real bear in the picture too.
That is a real bear in the picture.
He talked about it. They had to get the bear to sit still and be near him, and he actually did that shit, which is pretty great.
Pretty dope.
I think I'm gonna go do B+ because as much as I think that album is very good, I don't think it's a classic. Okay. And I just think there's more from him. I just think there's more there, and I just don't think we're there yet. So I'm gonna do B+.
I am also comfortable with the B+. I oddly put him in the same circle as a Brit Fayez, as a who just dropped an album?
Daniel Caesar.
He could be Daniel Caesar. Could be a Daniel Caesar. Jesus Christ. He just dropped an album. We were just talking about.
4 Bats?
No. I saw you all the old heads listen to him. He was comparing him to Daniel Caesar or to Brit Fayez. Oh my God. I'm sorry. This is going to kill me. I'm just going to let it go. But yeah, I'm sitting at a B+.
Yeah.
I do like 6 Lack a lot.
Yeah, I like 6 Lack a lot. Yeah.
One thing I will say that I don't like about 6 Lack that's just like a super minor aesthetic gripe. Look at his album covers in sequence. They're like so all over the place. I wish he could like he had just cultivated like an aesthetic based around his initial look and like feel, because that shit was so sick and just like went out the window.
Bro, I forget about East Atlanta Love. That's a good album.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That's a really good album. Okay, yeah, definitely B+.
Yeah,
good artist.
Yeah, no, East Atlanta Love Letter I liked. I don't think I've ever heard all of Free Six Lack, but I will.
It's good, dude. We should do a deep dive. That might be my next pick.
Yeah.
Actually.
Since I Have a Lover, I listened to, and it was very good, but it's very long.
Yeah.
Oh, and he has a new single out this year that came out earlier this month.
Perfect.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Revisit.
All right, who's this last one?
I'm not even joking. This was not on purpose. It's Pop Smoke. Like I'm not even joking. It was literally Pop Smoke. It came up and I started laughing because I was like, should I skip it? Because we're gonna talk about him, but I was like,
say,
it's a
no, I think we should just transition into the deep dive right now.
Transition.
And just talk, well, no, I think the Pops. I think if there was ever a deep dive, or maybe talking about the artist a little bit,
it's necessary.
Is this one?
That's part of my notes. I have context in there about what we need to get out here.
Right, and I think that's I think, spoiler alert for my feelings, I think that is simultaneously a strength and a weakness of this album.
Yes.
I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to say, and it's kind of one that, even though I've heard this album now, technically 4 or 5 times, because I listened to it a couple times when it came out, because I remember it dropped the same time as Legends Never Die. And I remember with Xavier at the Blue Store, we were always going back and forth which one was better. And I thought Legends Never Die was much better in my opinion. But so I listened to that, and then I revisited it a couple 3-4 times for this, or 3 times for this week. And it's the tragedy is that I think this album just shows that Pop Smoke had so much more to grow into.
Totally.
I think one of the things I think is a huge compliment for Pop Smoke, and one of the reasons why I don't love this album, is he very much crystallized the New York drill sound. I would not say that he was the inventor of it. I don't know who would be. Probably Chief Keef, but but I know because it was drill, and then it went to London, and then it came back to New York, and it's I know the whole origin. And I don't think he was the one who invented this New York drill wave, but he's certainly the one who crystallized it.
He was one of the best at it.
One of the best at it, for sure. Absolutely the most entertaining one I've heard. And I haven't heard all of the Enter the Woo mixtapes. But the thing is that I think he was building to being a very, very dynamic artist, and I think that would have been interesting and cool. He was not there yet. He was very idiosyncratic. So I can give him credit for crystallizing a sound. Right? But I'm attracted to artists that can do a lot of different things, and he just doesn't,
Have you listened to Faith?
No, I thought the whole release around Faith was gross.
Sort of, but also the versatility that you're looking for, there's more of it on Faith, I will say.
Yeah.
But
even that, I think because of the whole because he passed, I doubt it's fully realized.
No, of course not. Yeah, because the songs were all recorded
so
in a similar time range.
When me and Purvis were talking about our feelings on this album, the big word that came to my mind was a tragedy, because I don't particularly like this album. I don't think it's bad by any stretch. I think there are songs I really like, but it's just it's kind of one note for me, because it just kind of is that drill sound and there's some R&B-ish kind of songs. There's some more traditional hip hoppy kind of songs, but 9 out of 10 of them are that very New York drill, and I just couldn't tell them apart in a lineup if my life depended on it, So I don't know. I would probably give him a B- or a B, just because of the cultural impact of what crystallizing that sound did. And I also don't want to bemoan I don't want to undersell what an accomplishment just doing that is. But the thing is that when that's all you have, which a lot of extremely talented artists at their first project or first few projects, that is all they have. You know, that is the origin story for a lot of incredible artists. That was the origin story for The Weeknd. That was the origin story for Kendrick. You know, they have like this one idiosyncratic sound, and then they build out and they get more dynamic over time. And Pop Smoke was robbed of that opportunity. Right? But the thing is, like, it's just not going to change the fact that I bounce off of drill music. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I go B- because I think what he did was an accomplishment, but it wasn't for me, and he was never given the ability to fully realize himself.
Mm. Jasper, do you want me to go next then?
By all means.
Honestly, yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat. This is one of those situations that he just didn't really get to show us what was in the tank. How I feel about him is very similar to how I feel about Juice WRLD, although I think Juice WRLD was more established.
Definitely. Yeah.
And he also had more time, I think, in comparison to be more established, which is fair. But yeah, when I eventually got to Pop Smoke, I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was extremely overrated. And it's partially because the sound itself isn't really for me. And secondly, I know 50 Cent exists. And I'm not gonna lie. When I was thinking of Pop Smoke, literally I was just thinking like, oh, this is a 50 Cent clone. But I did take the time to like, let me actually dive into it, because like this man had a lot of hype.
Yeah, he had a ton of hype behind it. A ton of hype.
Like so much hype that I didn't even understand why. It was insane. That the fact that we were talking about it at the Blue Store on random Tuesdays, like this was a full pop star. Like he was very well known.
And he was a local legend for a long time, and you know, he was definitely starting to blow up like before he died. But like I didn't hear about him until he passed, and then you know I became aware of it. I want to just, before Jasper goes off, I do want to build on something you said, because I had a very opposite impression, because I did not see him as like a 50 Cent clone. To me, I was like, oh, okay, at least finally someone's stepping into 50 Cent shoes, right? Exactly. Like that's how I felt. I just didn't really like the sound, you know. I just wasn't very much into the sonics. But to me, I saw him as like, I didn't see him as a 50 Cent clone. I saw him as like stepping into that role.
The next,
yeah, and I like that, and I like that 50 Cent produced this album. I like the song with 50 Cent, so that connection, I'm into. I just wish it sounded maybe a little bit more like 50 Cent on a sonic level.
Sure,
you know.
I do think it was enough time passed as well, because 50 Cent has been out of the game.
Yeah, 100%.
We didn't have someone sounding like 50 Cent for a while,
but we didn't even have people acting like him either.
Yeah,
because like the thing is that like when 50 Cent left, 50 Cent got taken out of the top spot, it wasn't just 50 Cent. It was the biggest sea change in hip hop history. It was when Kanye West took over, and then the paradigm switched, right?
Yeah.
So no, that's the thing I love about Pop Smoke, right? I just don't really fuck with the music sonically. You know, if it was a little bit more melodic, a little bit more soulful, like some of the early 50 Cent stuff,
right,
I could probably get down with it a little bit more. But that was the part I liked.
Right. I feel like 50 Cent did it, but did it better. But it's also, to be fair, Pop Smoke didn't have the opportunity to really show us everything he had. Because at least for me, when I visit this album, I haven't listened to this album since it came out. And when it did come out, I listened to it a lot, to be fair. I think I listened to it about 3-4 times this week. And just as Brandon said, there's like 2 or 3 sounds. In every single song falls into those 2 or 3 sounds. Like they all sound identical. And I truly think, and this might kind of explain the hype that was behind him, I think Pop Smoke was a perfect hit artist. I don't think he was a good album artist at all. I think when a song dropped, it hit. It was great for clubs. It was great for the radio. It was great for working out.
Yeah,
because we talked about
Pop
working
Smoke
out.
should have came. Pop Smoke would have been way bigger if he came out in the early 2000s. You know, like.
But in the album format, it wasn't hidden. It was a little hard to get through. All the songs kind of sound the same. Even the songs that wasn't full drill, like that R&B sound, it didn't hold the message for me. Maybe that's not how I looked at love. Maybe they just view love differently in their culture.
Yeah.
But like it just didn't hit for me. But I think it's a good album. I think it's a good artist. So I would still put him like as a B. I hate ranking people off of potential.
Yeah, me too.
And it really sucks.
Yeah,
and but I do think it was there.
Yeah, and like something I've always felt about this album is I always feel like it's the kind of album that, like, you know, if Pop Smoke would have been able to fully put out, like, you know, fully develop 2-3 more albums, you know, I could probably see it like a Section 80 or the first Detroit album, where it's like, you know, after hearing like the much more. See, I gave Big Sean some love. Like after seeing like the progression, I can then go back to the beginning and kind of appreciate it for what it was a little bit more, you know. And like, you know, we talk about context, and it's like, it does feel like if you found this album out in the desert with no context of like who Pop Smoke was or like what drill was or what this sound was, I don't know if many people would get all the way through it.
Another thing that I feel like, and this might be a stretch, because we didn't see him able to fully develop it, I could see this easily going a route of Pusha T. Because Pusha T, I don't want to say he has one sound, but he does have one message.
The refinement path. Yeah, and like it gets better and better and more.
Exactly. He found a way to shorten it.
Yeah.
I looked at Pusha T's albums and its lengths. You're looking at 30, 20, 40 minutes. Like, it gets to the point. It's a perfect amount. If I keep getting an hour of Pusha T, I would also be sick of Pusha T. And that's kind of how I feel about it.
I don't know if I agree with all that, but I see where you're going. I think it holds water.
But yeah, Jasper, let's talk about this album that you.
Oh no, Jasper, you have to grade him as an artist now.
Yeah,
it's tough, man, because like you just said, like grading people off of their potential is
hard,
a slippery slope. It's tough. It sucks. But like for me, I'd go B+, maybe even A- based on that. Like this sound had the industry in the chokehold for a minute. Without this, we wouldn't have people like Ice Spice going crazy.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have a lot of contemporaries. Now, I will say, Brooklyn Drill specifically never really replaced, I think, a lot of the sounds of trap and just like Southern Atlanta hip hop that have kind of taken over. And I think that that's still the case now. I think that this is actually kind of trending downward in terms of overall
it definitely is. It feels like, if anything, like it was replaced, and I say this even though they're very different sounds, but it feels like
sound almost.
I mean, maybe a little bit, but I was gonna say almost like the Northern New York, like the Griselda sound, right? Like it feels like that is like they kind of like ebbed and flowed at the same time, right?
Yeah, and with that being said, I do think that this was very influential for the time. I think that one thing that we tend to fail to take into account with some of these artists is just like the age they're at when they are making these tracks, because
that's totally true.
Died right before he was going to turn, like a bit before he was going to turn 21, so a lot of this stuff is recorded at the age of like 18, 19. And based on that, like for that, I gotta give this like an A. Like just as a first effort album, like I know he didn't finish True Necessary Vision. 50 Cent stepped in, executive produced, did the whole thing. This album did come out a while after he had passed away, by like a couple months. He passed away, I think, a week and a half after the release of The Woo 2, like his second main mixtape. So yeah,
but this was mostly done though.
Well, yeah, we don't really know, I think, how many tracks specifically or whatever were like done, but just like it was a work in progress for sure. It's too bad, because it's like it would be really interesting to see how it would differ, if anything, but also we can only go on what we have. And based on that, like I actually really sonically enjoy this album. I do think it does have that kind of like one track sound, but I think that he's the only person who I found, to my taste, who delivers that sound in a way that I really. So because of that, it's like Yeah, we'll go through the actual track listing.
Yeah, we definitely can.
There are a lot of songs on here that I enjoy, and the features are strong in my opinion. And there's just like a lot to unpack.
Yeah, I think there's some really good features here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot, and like it does like when you have artists. And, like, on one hand, like, yeah, I definitely think there is some context to be like, this was made by someone who was probably 19, 20 years old, right? And that's, like, huge. But, like, so is House of Balloons. So is Acid Rap. So is Section 80.
So is Chief Keef.
So is Chief Keef, right? Even so it's like, I do think, to me, I feel like it's almost like a sign of respect to the artist to kind of just be like, well, let's just see how this feels like on its own merits, right? I feel like, oh, this guy was so young, he was taken from us. I'm gonna wrap my hand around my back and like not feel the way the thing makes me feel. I feel like is not the best way to live in their legacy, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I also, when people just have like one sound, it kind of just feels about how you feel about that sound, right? There's just like no getting around it. And that's a completely subjective thing, you know? The only thing is that I definitely feel like from listening to this again, I definitely feel like Pop Smoke could have gotten there, could have gotten to being a much more dynamic artist. I definitely think he could have. I just don't think he hit that at all. Cause like, I think some of the more R&B songs on this are like kind of the weakest. Yeah, like the songs that I really liked I actually really liked For the Night with Little Baby and the Baby.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Snitching. I liked The Woo. Mood Swings kind of made my skin crawl, but I did kind of like it.
That was a big meme song for a while.
Yeah.
That was a big meme.
And then and this one feels like cheating, but like I love Dior. Like Dior is awesome. Like
I love that song.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, like so like yeah, like is there a handful of good songs in here? Absolutely, And if the songs aren't poorly made, like they're not poorly mixed or poorly constructed or not like tightly edited, right? So it's not like there's a huge amount of like critical things you can say about it. It's just like, yeah, these are really, really well made drill songs.
Yeah,
I just don't fuck with drill. Like I don't like Chicago drill. Like and I
like man,
yeah,
thank you for bringing that up because I was literally about to say I don't even listen to like the drill around us, so it's not surprising that this didn't click for me that hard.
Yeah,
like I was more surprised, Jasper, that you love it because I know you don't listen to drill like that.
Yeah. No, I don't. But like this just resonated with me.
Although I could totally see why this would hit for someone and not Lil Durk. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I can totally see that.
Just being angry during COVID and like lifting weights in the basement, and you're listening to this, it's like, yeah, it's a match made in heaven.
It is a good fit.
Yeah. For me, that was Run the Jewels 4.
Yeah.
I purposely went to the gym before this just to listen to this at the gym. And you're right. It did hit. You're right.
We make it rain on whoever.
It's true.
All right, let's go.
2023.
Want to do track by track?
Yeah, we talked musical style. Let's do track by track and features. That's like where I think the bread and butter of this album is, frankly.
I have a question though. Like, what do you think that says about an artist when the bread and butter of their album is the features?
Well, I don't think it's. I guess I don't mean it necessarily in that way. I think it's like this is what I get excited about because I think the features are so well used.
Okay.
Features were well used.
For an album that is a real album, I think that the features do a lot to kind of expand the sound, even if Pop Smoke himself is not the one doing it. You know
okay. No. Okay. No, I think that's a completely. Yeah, I'm completely bought. So, go ahead. What are your standout tracks, Jasper?
So the moment I knew Pop Smoke was going to be something special was he was the first person to unite the babies on a track. Right?
Yeah,
that was a moment, and that song came out before he passed. I'm pretty sure that was like one of the like singles. So I was like, wow, this guy's got like this is potential. Like the fact that he's this new and this young, and like these two guys who are at the time were like frankly the top of their game on the same track is very impressive. That song is really good. I like it a lot. Quavo's all over this thing. I think that he's got like some varying quality depending on which feature it is, but he's there 3 times because of Migos as well.
Yeah. I think he's pretty good. I think he's pretty good on here. I don't think either of his features are my favorite, but I think he's pretty good.
Yeah, I would have to say my favorites are gonna be Rowdy Rebel on Make It Rain. The like through the collect call is just insane, and I think it hits really well. I'm gonna say Carol G on Enjoy Yourself is actually like a nice switch up.
Yeah.
And then I think that even though it's like, yeah, I mean, 50 Cent is like just a great kind of full circle moment, and his verse is pretty good too. So that track very much reminds me of Through the Late Night, because you've got Pop Smoke opening the second verse, his verse, saying, "I'll take you to the candy shop," whereas Travis Scott with Kid Cudi on the second verse of Through the Late Night says, "Day and night." It's like you're having the full circle
it's the echoes.
It's very cool.
It's the history rhyming. Really no, the Woo is definitely a standout song. Yeah, I added that to my big playlist. Like I like that song a lot. Like that song hit for me. I also really liked West Coast shit. Like I thought that was fun. I thought that was fun, especially as a stoner. Like I think that's a fun song. But yeah, no, I think like I kind of am in agreement on like what the highlights are, because like I think those songs absolutely hit. You know.
Yeah, I also really like the song "Gangsters," but it doesn't have any features, so it's just like one of the ones that I kind of stands out for me.
Yeah, I liked Gangsters too. I liked it more than the ones below and before it.
A Phantom is still a foreign, so the chorus is a little off, but you know.
Look, you're young and 19 and 18. What do you know, for real?
Yeah. So I mean, going through, it's like there's definitely, you get that like heavy New York drill sound for the first 10 tracks or so, and then when you get to the Woo, and just after West Coast shit, like that's where I think we see us, right? And you get a little away from that and more into this kind of like R&B-esque,
softer.
Yeah. He even says on Mood Swings, like, "Oh, well, you didn't know I could sing," and then he like sings the chorus to that, which is like just like a fun, weird switch up. That song is interesting, but it's like, I think even that, it's like in the fact that it is playful, it like almost kind of works.
No, it's a song that is saved by the performance. You know, like it's not.
TJ is a decent feature too.
Yeah, like that song. Like I thought it was very, like. I liked Enjoy Yourself fairly. I just thought Mood Swings like endeared itself to me because of like the earnestness of the performance, but I just do not think that he
can't sing.
I just don't think he actually can. Like I actually disagree. The late
the man is 18, 19 years old.
Mr. Smoke,
like a fucking 40-year-old.
I disagree. Like. I still think my favorite thing. Have you guys seen that meme where it was like Pop Smoke dropping like one of his first songs and like all of his friends freaking out because they realize how good he is? I still think that's my favorite Pop Smoke.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh yeah, it was like I just saw memes like when you know you're getting out of the hood. It's like
like, it's funny that you brought that up because again, it's just. Every single song I hear, I can picture them all in the studio hyping them up. It's just like, God, it all sounds the same.
Yeah.
It fits perfectly. But yeah, the later half is very heavily R&B until you get to like the Diet or Dior. I should say.
Or Got It On Me even, because that's like,
oh yeah, Got It On Me.
Yeah, and songs like that, I gotta say, just conceptually, like lyrically,
man.
So sad.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, dude. You said it and it happened, and god damn it.
I don't even remember how did he die? Did he get murdered?
It's really sad. So he was in LA renting a house out there to work prior to his tour.
Yep.
And he posted a photo online that leaked his address for the rental house. 4 people broke in and wanted to rob him, basically looking for his jewelry. And he was like going along with it, and then he like tried to get out of it and like hit one of them or whatever, and he got hit in the face and then shot, and then he turned around and tried to run and got shot again. And by the time the police showed up, he was like they took him in and they tried to do surgery, but it was that. And then they later found the kids who shot him. It was like 15 through 17, 18-year-olds. They like stole his Rolex and sold it for $2,000. So Pop Smoke's life was worth $2,000, like a diamond encrusted Rolex.
Yeah.
So we lost what could have been the next 50 Cent because of like a spat over jewelry. It's just
same with Takeoff. You know, it was a dice game.
Yeah, it's just it's sad.
Yeah,
it's not an uncommon story for the genre.
No,
I've decided when I'm in New York next, I kind of want to visit his grave. But like, we'll see.
Yeah.
Stupid. Him, Juice WRLD.
Yeah. It's different things too, you know.
Yeah.
Different things, yes, different things.
Yeah, but no, it's an epidemic, and like, people bring up like this is actually something rare for hip hop. Like, there's a ton of old dudes from the '90s still left, you know, like only one member of the Wu-Tang Clan has died. Like,
yeah, I think it's fucking wild that 50 Cent gets shot 9 times, lives, continues his career, and then like goes on to fulfill the project of a man who basically could have taken his place, who got shot like 2 or 3 times and just happened to get
just died.
It sucks.
Look, 50 Cent ain't got no business. I mean, obviously I'm happy, but like
they clearly didn't know what they were doing. It's like, go to a shooting range.
Yeah.
That is highly favored.
Yeah, honestly. But yeah, it's just like, yeah, the context is definitely a big part of the album, and we kind of touched on that. But I think that, overall, if you like the 2 sounds here, it's like there's something to appreciate, and there are tracks that kind of stand out and speak for themselves, or really hold up as singles even.
No.
So, yeah, that's kind of like what I would have about it. But if you two have anything else as far as like.
No, I kind of just said my thing, like that's the thing is I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I think there was a ton of potential here. I definitely think Pop Smoke would have, like, I am actually willing to say that would he still be alive? I think he would have become a dynamic artist. I think he probably would have been in the conversation with Denzel and Jid. I think that's exactly where he would be right now. But like the same way that if you don't like weird emo music, you're going to probably bounce off Denzel. Like, this is kind of like how I felt with him. So to me, it's harder to give this album anything harder than like a B- C+, like just on its own merits. But like, I say that as like, this is an, I don't know how I want to say this. Fuck. It's like, if this album came from many other artists, I would have been a lot harsher on it. But I think because of the pop, because of everything else, because of the potential here, because I haven't heard the Enter the Woo like mixtapes. I hear they are even more just drill music than this.
Yeah, they are.
I can appreciate that, like, he's making those steps, right? But like, I do have to just kind of call it on its own. So like, I'm probably gonna go B-.
I'm pretty much around the same. I think it is a decent album, but it serves like 1 or 2 purposes for me.
There's like some really, really strong highlights on this album for sure, and there is a lot of potential in the songs that aren't highlights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's a hit artist, like I said. Yeah, to me, he's a hit artist because of what we've seen and what we're limited to. He can make some hits. No, I have no doubt in my mind he would have been trending like no other person. Just the album format doesn't hit as hard for me.
Yeah, I give it a B+ overall. I think that it has potential, and I think it's a good first effort, especially in an album format coming from the Meet the Woo mixtapes and like the way they sound. It definitely expands upon what's already there. It just isn't. It's not the growth of like having years to refine. With that said, I think that this sound was really influential. I mean, aside from Ice Spice, which I mentioned, like, I think the biggest song to emerge from the pandemic, frankly, was directly inspired by him, Off the Grid. I think Off the Grid is like a testament to that sound.
Mm-hmm.
And then also,
is that 504?
Yeah, it's 504 and Kanye and Playboy Cardi.
And I listened to that again today, actually, just to like go back and compare. And yeah, just like the instrumentation is almost identical.
It very much is, I listened to that song not too long ago, to show Rachel, specifically to show her the 504 verse, because that's so fucking great.
Walk through the hood like my neighborhood general. Yeah,
dude, it's so good. Shit, when I was in jail, is low key for
that's so
sleep,
good.
work out and go to sleep. It's good.
And then
it's very good.
And then with that also, you know, Donda had the "We Made It" kind of like interpolation thing where it's like Pop Smoke song "We Made It" off of the album Faith, which maybe we'll eventually do a deep dive on because I like that album and I think it is distinct and different enough from this to warrant one. But yeah, that's a whole other can of worms. But yeah, he was there and just like was influential for his time, I think, and because of that, I would rank this as like a little higher as a B plus, just because like the sound permeated, and he was like the champion of that sound for the time he shared it, you know. But that brings us to my last point, or my last kind of thing I want to talk about here. What is Pop Smoke's lasting impact, and like how will he be remembered, right? Because I feel like we've seen that sound fall off or fall away pretty hard. I think that as of now, like he's for the most part, unless you're in New York, you know, not really part of like any conversation that I've seen around like artists where it's like their pretty recent music is like popular or whatever. And with that, it's like, you know, even in the outro track Tunnel Vision, there's a little bit of like an interview snippet where it says like, in 100 years, how would you want to be remembered? Pop Smoke did this, he did that, he did what? And he says Pop Smoke came in, changed the game, showed everybody a new vibe, something different.
I was going to bring that up.
He did do something different, but are we going to remember him for it? Is the culture going to remember
for it? I do recall that actually coming up in the last track. It's tough. It honestly is. I was trying to decide my personal take on it. I don't think past our generation he'll be like remembered, to be honest.
No.
I don't think he made enough of an impact where like the generation after us was like, oh, I discovered an artist, let's dive into it. I don't think it's that serious. I do think what would help is that another actual heavy New York drill artist came in and gave like props to him and like shot him out as reasoning for them to excel and for them to take over. I do think that would help a lot to like strengthen the argument that he could last for years. But outside of that, on his own merits, I would just go straight to 50 Cent. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think anyone will ever look back at Pop Smoke and just be like, 50 Cent. I feel like his sound is too distinct.
That's true.
But I do think Pop Smoke's legacy lives and dies on the legacy of New York drill as a whole, right?
Yeah.
Like I think because the thing is that history is not static, right? Like like drill has fallen off really hard right now, but that's not to say that it doesn't get culturally reevaluated in 5-10 years, right? And and I think as high as that tide goes, it will always lift Pop Smoke, right? I think if in 10 years there's a huge reevaluation of that era, of that sound, then I think it's only going to do good things for his legacy. But I think if it truly has trended down to the point of going away, it's it doesn't speak well to it. But I do think like he will be remembered at least by people of our generation and the one before us.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think like I don't know what context would be needed in the future to like kind of reconnect New York drill, Brooklyn drill to like the conversation, like the pop culture conversation, especially in like this style. But unless that happens, I could very easily see him becoming someone who's basically kind of falls into obscurity. You know, the career is so short. Like we said, he doesn't transcend genres. So it just becomes very difficult to break out of the bubble of being tied to a sound that is no longer culturally.
Yeah, it really is. Especially when you're not around to spread.
Yeah, 100%. There's no touring. Like his tour was cut after because of everything after like I don't know 3 stops or whatever. It was something insane. So there just wasn't there wasn't the permeation in the industry of flash streaming numbers, but then where's the lasting experience for people, you know?
So. That's true.
The tragedy of Pop Smoke, as it were.
No. All right.
That's a good way to put it.
And on that note,
shall we be moving on to recommendations?
Yeah, let's do it.
I have to be honest, I've mostly been listening to the disses, but Purvis, you want to start? I want to see if you're going to take this song.
I am not ready. I am not ready.
Are you going to use $1 Million Baby?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it, but
no, I'm doing it. $1 Million Baby. I've been listening to this song nonstop all week. It is so catchy.
It is a good song.
It is such a catchy pop song. $1 Million Baby. It's so good. It's so good.
Perfect summer song.
That and Euphoria have just been on and on by Tommy Richmond, just on and on. Like, it is literally just like, it's just like, yeah, my vibes, and then it's like, I hate Drake. It's like,
wait, who's it by? $1 Million Baby.
$1 Million Baby by.
Have you not heard this?
Tommy Richmond. No. It's on TikTok.
No.
Oh, wait, is this the one that's like the big popular song right now?
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
Tommy Richmond. I just don't know his name.
No, it's really good.
Jasper, do you want me to go?
You're gonna make me do it.
No,
I can go. Because there is one I actually did want to bring up. Man, I haven't revisited this album since we went to go see him live, and I didn't get to see the whole concert.
Yeah, you didn't.
But 2004 Mick Jenkins goes hard. It is so hard. It is so good. It is so good.
He did it twice. I wanted him to do 11 times like Fiend. I wanted to be like,
or like so good.
I just want him to go like at the end of the second song, be like, "What year is it? 2004. I've been low key as it's still on my repeat." Yeah, I love that song.
It is so good. Re-listening to that album was a treat,
dude. That album's so good.
Yeah, that's my first one.
Okay.
All right. I'm surprised none of us have recommended this in the past, and given how like big and popular of a song it is, I know it's like we want deep cuts. This is not that. Ultimate Denzel Curry.
Oh yeah, this is not deep cut. This is the most popular song, but yeah, it's okay. I'm going with a modern classic too, and we may have recommended it in the past. I'm not gonna look. I can smell my dinner cooking. I
know.
Yeah, I am finishing up. But just because, like, you know, life has been getting a little bit better for me. Spring has sprung. The weather is good. It's time to like crack down the windows, right, and ride around. I've gone through my other two springtime recommendations, which are Temptation and Devastated, both by Joey Badass. Just perfect cruising songs.
Hell yeah.
But now I gotta go with possibly a modern classic, and just elite tier cruising song, and that's No L's by Smino.
Oh, top tier song. Top tier song.
Friday's
phenomenal.
Friday night driving house, but
phenomenal.
Got no lights. Oh, such a good album. Revisited that album this week.
Smino recommendation. I almost did. So good. Oh yeah, it is my turn.
Yeah.
I haven't done it in a while. West Side Gun. I'm bringing back Griselda. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, West Side Gun, Gun Lib, phenomenal song, classic song.
So good.
I don't care. I'll be listening to Griselda till I die. So that's my second recommendation.
I mentioned it last week, but I re-listened to Because the Internet pretty recently.
Yeah.
Just because of the Gambino hype that's been rolling around.
Yeah.
And man, one of the hardest tracks that I think is underappreciated on this album, number 2, Zealots of Stockholm. One of the really hardest breakdowns and like instrumentals just to exist. Maybe like the insane cuts in it and everything. It's great. Love that song.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I am excited for the next one. We've been waiting a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that is it. We'll be back next week with more hip hop commentary and probably more beef.
Man, hopefully more diss news.
Hopefully more. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. I want Jid to get involved. Jid, come out here.
Big stick. Let's go.
Cole forfeited all the Dreamville.
Facts.
The Dreamville House Dreamville has rescinded. Like,
House Dreamville has fallen.
Literally.
Right?
Yeah, dude. It's like House Griselda rises. We should do this. We should make this.
Hey, Westside could definitely play a big role in this.
Crazy.
Yeah. Dude,
hey, yo!
Hey. Oh my god. All right, guys. That's it for us. Like, subscribe, look at Purvis's funny face. I'm out.
Jesus Christ.
All right, guys.